Hello and welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. Recently I unboxed an early review copy of Sanctuary of the Steelborn, the brand new Epic Encounters set from Steamforged Games, which is available to pre-order right now. Today I am going to be looking at the companion set, Realm of the Titan. This is a box containing a single huge, stupidly huge, miniature, plus a map, tokens and an adventure booklet, giving you all the tools you need to introduce a gargantuan Titan construct to your tabletop role-playing game of choice. As with all Epic Encounters sets, you can use Realm of the Titan by itself as a standalone encounter, but you can also use it in conjunction with other sets, especially Sanctuary of the Steelborn, for a longer, more involved campaign that culminates in a big smackdown with the boss. And while the included rules and stats are compatible with the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, you could adapt any of this material for use in other settings. Obviously, the big draw, and I cannot emphasize big enough, is the Titan itself. This is a single pre-assembled miniature on a 120mm scenic base, so it's ready to use straight out of the box. And it is massive. It's approximately 180mm tall, and its wide stance fills the 120mm base. The sculpt itself is not new. It appeared in the Bard Sung Lost Levels expansion, but it has been significantly scaled up, doubling in size to become a table-hogging mechanical marvel that is going to put the fear of all the gods of the realm into your heroes. The only problem bigger than facing this thing in combat is figuring out where you are going to store it between your games. For a large pre-assembled ready-to-use piece, this is one of the most impressive I have seen. I still prefer some of the other large-scale Epic Encounters pieces, especially the Null Warseeker, but all of those other sets are dwarfed by this construct. If you like to have a real showstopper to drop on the table and terrify your party, this is going to fit the bill perfectly. Oh, and if you want to see just how small a regular 25mm base character is in comparison to this monstrosity, here you go. While it's easy to be blinded by the bling, this thing could have your eye out, Epic Encounters are much more than just plastic. In this set you also get an A2 sized map. That's roughly 60cm by 42cm. One side represents the cavernous workshop where the Titan stands guard, littered with ancient machinery, including the ruined remains of a Steelborn carriage. It's nicely illustrated, but it is a little on the dark side in places, especially around the carriage. The reverse of the map shows exactly the same setting, but as if it had been lit by the art director from the brilliantly beautiful and bonkers movie Mandy. I like this side more, it's more visually interesting, but I admit, I would have rather had a completely different location, perhaps the shattered remains of a village where the Titan has run rampant. With 2 maps, you can turn the Titan into more of a recurring villain, with the heroes perhaps struggling on the first encounter, but learning valuable information that they can then use when they finally hunt the Titan down. As always, the maps are paper, but they are a good quality, and they have a slightly matte finish so you don't get too much glare. You will need to smooth out some creases though, or place a sheet of plastic over the top. You also get a punchboard of tokens, and this is because the Titan is a little bit gamified compared to what you normally might expect from an RPG kit. There are different parts of the Titan's body that you can target and destroy, and these tokens are for tracking the construct's current game state. More on that in a moment. The tokens are good quality, thick and durable like the tokens in the other Epic Encounters sets, and they are double-sided, with the numbered tokens having a different design on the reverse. The final element in the set is the adventure book, which weighs in at a hefty 44 pages. And yes, I am going to flick through it, so spoilers lie ahead. Check the timestamps in the video description if you would like to jump to my final thoughts. We start off with our introduction on how to use this pack in our own adventures, which includes simple rules for scaling the encounter for different party levels. Note that this booklet includes 3 power levels for the Titan, making it easier to ensure your heroes are going to be up to the challenge. Next, there is a background section giving more information about the Titan and the chaos it causes. There is a lot of emphasis on its sheer size and how it probably shouldn't even be able to move. This part includes rumours about the Titan. Are they true or not? That's up for you to decide. You can select the ones you like, mash several together, or take inspiration from them to create something yourself. The same goes for the hooks which follow, a variety of fun ways to introduce the Titan to your quest. Interestingly, one suggested hook places the heroes as the survivors of an attack by the Titan on a village. Another strong argument for having a ruined settlement battle map included in the box. The next section introduces the lair, in this case, the workshop the Titan is protecting. There are details of the general area, specific things the heroes may find, and discussion of the possible tactics the heroes may employ. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the Titan will not talk or negotiate, its will cannot be broken, and its path cannot be altered. This leads into a selection of rules you may wish to use as you run the encounter. For example, there are rules for the heroes suffering from the bitter cold of the journey to the workshop, and options for hiding from the Titan to avoid a direct confrontation. At least, for a while. There is also a detailed description of the environment and the various features that it may be useful for the heroes to know about, followed by a copy of the battle map with objects of interest marked accordingly. These objects include mysterious machinery that the heroes can use as cover. There is a broken down carriage, much like the one the heroes encountered in Sanctuary of the Steelborn, with still functioning weapons that will come online if the fight turns in the heroes' favour. There is a section of the floor that has weakened over time and will crumble beneath the Titan's feet, causing increased damage. Finally, there is the Hearthfire, which is far too hot for the heroes to linger by without sustaining damage, but which can be used to their advantage, as the Titan seems reluctant to damage it and makes all its attacks with disadvantage as it operates with greater care. The next section covers more detailed aspects of the combat, including rules for how the Titan will choose targets for its attacks, and an overview of the component system. The Titan has 5 components that can be attacked and disabled. Once a component has been destroyed, the Titan loses functionality, usually losing the ability to make a specific type of attack. While this is quite gamey, it's also a great opportunity for storytelling, finding subtle ways to draw attention to the various components so the heroes can figure out how to take down the Titan, and then explaining what happens when those components are damaged should be a lot of fun for a DM. The next page runs through various attack patterns the Titan will use based on proximity to its selected target, which will normally be the hero who inflicted the most damage on it. There are 6 different types of attack, ranging from smashing the ground with its fists to using high-powered plasma blasts. Additionally, there are 3 pages of ancillary abilities that the DM can use at their discretion. These all add a bit of flair, and while you wouldn't want to use them all the time, they can be used to throw a spanner in the works just when the heroes are getting to grips with their huge foe. For newer DMs who may not know the best way to employ these abilities, there are plenty of notes and tips to guide their usage, helping to ensure the confrontation is truly cinematic. Next, there are details of what happens once the Titan has been defeated, and suggestions for what the heroes could do next, including searching the lower levels of the manufactory to eradicate the remaining Steelborn. There is also a table of loot. The heroes deserve it after this challenge. The following pages cover the stat blocks and special rules. There are 3 versions of the Titan, with the first being the Psi Titan, which is a challenge level 4 creature worth 2000 experience. In addition to the stats, special abilities and actions, there is also a double-page spread showing the different components, their unique armor classes, hit points, and rules for once they are destroyed. The second Titan is the Sigma, which is a challenge 10 enemy worth 11,500 experience. Again, you get the double-page spread detailing the components. Finally, there is the Omega Titan, which is a challenge 17 enemy worth 18,500 experience. And that is your lot. This is a fun set. The Titan is seriously imposing and an interesting foe. The icy setting with a gigantic automaton guardian gives me Shadows of Brimstone vibes, and that's no bad thing. The book is also very useful. It's packed with fun ideas that could be sifted through for a variety of adventures. However, for me personally, I think the Titan is the kind of foe that I wouldn't expect the heroes to smack down in a straight up fight. It's just too huge. I can see myself weaving the destruction of components into a longer form narrative encounter where the heroes have to disable certain systems and then learn how to lure the Titan out onto the weakened ground in the workshop so it crashes through the side of the cavern and plummets to its ultimate demise. This would be a combat that rages across multiple locations, with the heroes gradually gaining the knowledge to best a foe they cannot go toe to toe with. For me, this is the kind of boss that deserves that kind of treatment. Overall, I think there's a lot to like here. If I have to pick one negative, beyond the lack of a second battle map, it would probably be something that is also the biggest draw. Some people will say I'm crazy, but I think the Titan is possibly just a bit too big. Don't get me wrong, I love a bigature as much as the next person, but it's another hefty chunk of plastic to find a home for between games, and in this case, it's a chunk of plastic that I can't see myself using all that regularly. The scale is impressive, and that is obviously the intent, but I do feel that when it comes down to it, I often get more value out of the more modest local legend sets compared to these super-sized bosses. That's not to say I don't think this Titan is awesome though. And it doesn't mean I'm going to stop collecting these sets either. I've almost got enough Epic Encounters boxes to build a throne. But why don't you let me know in the comments how or when you would use this encounter, because that is it from me for now. If you would like to pre-order Realm of the Titan, you can do so right now using my link in the video description below. And as always, if you like the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really like the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone, bye bye.